The Bank of Canada raises rates to 3.75%. The forecast was for 4.0. They were going to raise it 0.75, but they only raised it by 0.50. The ECB hikes rates by 75 basis points. The forecast was for 2, and they did exactly what they forecast to basically do. So now it's at 2%. The PCE came in and it raised by 0.06%. So that's an increase. And consumers spending rose in September, even as stubborn inflation wiped out wage gains. American households are willing to dole out more money even after their inflation-adjusted take-home pay was unchanged from September. And in other news, a fan will receive a record $75 million payout if the Astros win the 2022 World Series. Okay, so this 71-year-old Jim Mattress Mackingvale, he basically owns gallery furniture in Houston. He is a native, and he basically, over the course of the season, I believe, he continued to bet $10 million on the Houston Astros to win the 2022 World Series. Alright, so the Astros won the World Series in 2017, and in that one, he won $10 million. So, you bet again, this time $75 million. Does anybody want in on this bet? Hey Forex Militia, this is Parsival, and we are coming to you from the Forex Militia base camp. We basically have the calendar, and we're going to go over last week's and go into next week's, or this week's, last week's and this week's. And so what we have is, we had on Sunday the GDP from the Chinese yuan. We had PCE, right? PCE. I'm sorry, not PMI. PMI from euro, from pound, and from the U.S. We had consumer confidence, which came in a little light. CPI from Australia, which came in hot. And then we had the Bank of Canada. Like I said in the preview, the forecast was 2. And they only did 375, which interestingly should have caused they probably priced it in and people sold off. And the euro again 2, and then PCE came in line. All right, so that's last week's. Let's get into this week's, and with this week we have the Aussie cash rate on Monday. We have the Kiwi unemployment on Tuesday. We have the ADP and the FOMC statement, where the central bank, the U.S. the Fed is going to raise forecast to 4, so that's 0.75 basis points. And we have the pound basically raising to 3. That is 75 basis points. And then we have on Friday, we have the Canadian, the Canada, basically NFP, the unemployment, and then the US NFP. All right, and that's forecast to be 200,000. So we'll see if that comes in hot or light. And so that's the calendar. So now let's get over to the charts and see what we can see. Starting out on the dollar. Okay, the dollar, the COT has this long, and it has been pulling back within the recent weeks. So I am now going over these currencies, and indices on the daily chart, just so we can get a better look at what's happening imminently. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. And so this pulled back. This pulled back to an area that possibly could signal some. This is just a pullback and could start a rally. All right, so I'm long on the U.S. dollar. On the US 30, on the Dow Jones, I am actually short. The CO2 has it short. It has been rallying this week, strong rally, but I think it's probably going to just rally up into this trend line, and then it's going to bounce off of that and head lower. So I'm short on US 30. On gold, I am short on gold, even though the COT has it long because of the status of the dollar looking to basically rally. So it's going to basically probably fall a little bit more as the US 30 actually continues to rally. But once the US 30 starts to fall, the dollar should rally and gold should fall. So I'm going against the COT on that one. On Bitcoin, Bitcoin is basically rallying right now with the Dow Jones, okay, and actually the US stock market. And so it's rallying, so it's going up for a bit. So I think it is slightly short. When I looked at it though, this should say long. It was long. So they went slightly long. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and correct that really quick. Just for continuity. All right. And so I am going to be long on Bitcoin. On oil, I am long on US oil. US oil has been short for a while, but from some of my indicators, it is looking very much so like oil is going to continue higher and cause more inflation. On the loonie basically just pulled back, but it is still long because the Canadian dollar is short. So I believe this is going to continue higher. On the euro is basically still short. I'm sorry, it is on the COT is long, but on technical analysis it is short. So I believe it's going to continue to be short because the dollar is going to still be bullish. Interestingly enough, if oil actually bucks that trend, that would be a divergence from what's happening with the dollar, and that would mean that this is very strong. On the pound is also short, and I believe this is going to continue to be short. The COT has it short, and it is going to continue to be short. So with that, I am going to say please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And leave me comments if you have any questions on my techniques. And so, knowledge is power. Be power hungry and power to the people. And so this is Parseval. The closest thing to the Holy Grail is following the smart money. Signing out.